The most important thing is that you have a vision, that you have a goal. Because without that vision and without that goal, again, you're drifting around and you're never gonna end up anywhere. People don't become successful just by accident.
You're gonna get your ass kicked, we're gonna get the shit kicked out of us. You gotta get up, you gotta have faith that the one thing you wanted to happen oftentimes is the best thing that never happened. So have faith, just keep that in mind, keep plugging away.
Never accept the limitations of someone else. Somebody told you that it's impossible. Don't even try. Give up before you even fucking try it for yourself. Never accept the goddamn limitation that someone else has placed upon you.
And now, FitnessInformant.com presents the Iron Union Podcast. Let's go.
HQ for another episode of the Iron Union Podcast. I'm your host, Fitness Informant founder and CEO, Ryan Buck. I want to thank you guys for downloading or streaming this podcast on whatever your podcast platform is, whether it's YouTube, Apple iTunes, Spotify, or more. Do me a favor, if you like this episode, hit that subscribe button, write a review to help out the algorithm of all things here at the Iron Union Podcast. Big week this week in the Iron Union Podcast. I welcome in a familiar face to the Fitness Informant platform, a guy that has a plethora of experience in the dietary supplement, sports nutrition world, spent quite a bit of time working right here at Fitness Informant, and then eventually graduated on into a role with a sales and marketing role with NuLiv Science. Gerhard Hoermann is back for one day only here at Fitness Informant. So G was in town or flew into Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's negative 20 degrees outside himself. Jamie and Richard Wayne, the CEO of NuLiv Sciences, to come and do a documentary on myself and some of the stuff that I've gone through in my life and becoming a fitness influencer at Fitness Informant, TRT usage, being a pro wrestler, a business owner, etc. So a really cool project that will be coming out from NuLiv Science on their, I believe, YouTube channel and social channels. We will obviously share them here on our platform because I'm excited to see what they put together. I just sat down, they asked me a bunch of questions about all aspects of my adult and personal life, and it was great. I'm an open book. I've always been transparent, and that is not ever going to change. But while G was here, I said, man, let's do this. Let's have you come on the podcast. I want to hear about how life has changed, how things are different for you from a professional standpoint, because at FI, our job here is to be non-biased, to look critically at formulas and brands, and to give feedback and give advice to the consumers, those of you listening or watching this podcast. And now your role is to sell ingredients, regardless of how good, bad, or indifferent the formula is. So it was awesome to catch back up with G, shoot the shit, and just, it's funny, we talked, like when G was working at FI, we had seen each other several times a year, but he lives out in San Diego, I'm here in Minneapolis, and we've seen each other more since he's gone over to NuLiv in the past basically year than we had the prior 2 years because of COVID. We saw each other at Supply Side, we saw each other at the Olympia, he flew here, so there's been 3 times, I'll be seeing him probably in a week again. If I happen to make the trip out to the Arnold, I'll be going to Expo West in Anaheim. So really nice to catch up with him. Super proud, super happy. My shining moment as a business owner was helping G or getting G in position to get the job with NuLiv. I couldn't be happier for him. So that is that. And before we hop into that, I suppose I should dive into some big news here in the sports nutrition world. Redcon One founder and CEO Aaron Singerman finally sentenced in his role in the 2019 federal indictment against himself, PJ Braun, Blackstone Labs, and others. Aaron Singerman was sentenced to 54 months in a federal prison. If you do the math, that is 4.5 years. He is also going to face 3 years of supervised release upon his release, and he has to pay $2.9 million in damages. It's a hefty, hefty punishment for what he did, and I posted a video on this at our YouTube channel, over on our social channels, on my thoughts. Listen, I believe people can change, and I think people do change, and I truly think and believe and want to believe that Aaron, as he grew up and had kids and a family, he changed. But it doesn't change the fact of what he had done while at Blackstone Labs. He needs to face the music. He's facing the music. 4.5 years in a federal prison away from his wife and kids. Not easy, not fun, not cool, but there is resolution to that. The other defendants in the case, James Bocuzzi, PJ Braun, and others, are set to be sentenced on February the 17th. So we'll have more information on that. So now that downer is out of the way, let's bring it back up. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend and used to be compadre here at the Fitness Informant platform, the one and only G.
Adding my product is going to help you get to where you want to be.
5%ers is 5% of the people in the world that are willing to do whatever it takes to reach their goals.
We're talking about business, success, education, willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
For the last 2 decades, we have been the best kept secret of the supplement industry. We've kept our heads down and worked. We pioneered full label transparency and full therapeutic doses because we believe that truly hard work requires truly effective tools. 2 decades is a long time to commit to one pursuit, but when you act with purpose and become centered in yourself, eventually you realize that you were born and bred for this. The things you once thought impossible, you now do every day. We don't like the easy way, it just doesn't feel right. We'll take the long, hard road over a shortcut any day. It takes longer, sure, but in the end, you know you earned it. And with the right team behind you, pushing yourself further than you've ever been would be just another afternoon doing what you love most.
Here at the FIHQ, it's been a hot minute since we've seen this dude's face, but he's in town. Coldest week of the year, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Of all days to get here.
Not days, like days.
Of all weeks to get here, it's negative 17.
It's not
was.
It's not warm, I'll tell you that much. And we're sitting here back in the HQ. It's been here for a day. We're doing a cool, unique project for his new company, NuLiv. You guys will get more about that soon, but figured since he's here, why not have him come on? Because I'm excited to have G on the podcast to talk about something that we necessarily didn't get to see, or we don't get to see every day, but now you get to see it a little bit more in terms of, he works with brands. Explain like what you do now.
I sell ingredients to brands that sell to you, is basically what I do. Okay, jokes aside, I work in the business development part for NuLiv Science now. NuLiv Science is an ingredient supplier. As well, and I also do the marketing there as well. So I do sales, marketing, I help with the content creation, which I learned all the skills I have there are from Ryan. So I guess I should thank him for
I
that.
taught him everything he knows, so therefore I get commission.
If you guys watch my old videos on Fitness Informant, you'll notice like, holy shit, this kid is very cringy. And
you're only cringy like your first couple times.
Yeah, but then it gets better. So, you break through that. And even though it's not my favorite thing to do, content creation, I have experience in it, so I'm kind of directing that. NuLiv is actually trying to make some content. That's my big project. So basically I'm in marketing as well as sales for NuLiv Science. You might know some of our ingredients. Astrogen is a popular one. It used to be called Actigen. It is now Synactive. Xylaria, I'm sure you guys have seen.
Outside of Xylaria, I think Synactive is your best ingredient, at least the popularized ingredient.
We have Asmion and Verbazanol as well. Those are in Ghost Glow. So we're not just sports nutrition, we're also health and beauty. And not many people know this. NuLiv is actually was the second brand to introduce cordyceps to the market back in 1997.
Which is the mushroom.
So we're a mushroom supplier as well. So
the legal kind.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I think those psychedelic ones are actually becoming more legalized.
They are.
Not something I mess with, but Yeah, basically I get to help brands formulate products and hopefully get our ingredients in there. And I get to sell them ingredients, and I also get to help now market the products as well. And yeah, you'll see me more on social media, hopefully.
Well, on the NuLiv, I mean, the NuLiv channel had like, I mean, I would say that their social was non-existent.
Yeah, they weren't doing too much, but we're trying to create our own personality on there. You know, you kind of like to, people follow personalities these days over anything else. And what we're doing, we're showing that we're like more of a family oriented, we're kind of like a family at NuLiv. And, you know, like, I think we talked about this earlier, like we were playing fucking kickball like last week, and we actually posted that. I couldn't picture many other like ingredient suppliers doing
kickball.
We took a couple hours, went to the park that's close by. We all played kickball, including our accountant who's over 65 years old.
A 65-year-old accountant. Okay, so did he break a hip? Did he hurt himself? Anything like that?
No, I did.
You did?
No, I'm just kidding. But you know, we played kickball. We posted that. We were grilling burgers out there, and I was like,
"Did you pick teams like
yeah?"
Back, so were you last to be picked?
I was second to last. No, I think I was like second. I actually originally didn't want to play because I have like this pec injury.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's called kickball, dude.
Yeah, but when you run, you know, you can still feel it. You're trying to catch a
ball. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So that's your left side.
Still, when you run or you're setting up for a kick.
He graduates to the big leagues and he's still a bitch. I love it.
I played pretty well. Okay, my kicks were good. So yeah.
Did you think it was gonna so a lot of behind the scenes stuff? Like I understood there was an opening for NuLiv back in the summer, and I thought G would be a great fit. And I think at first you were sort of like apprehensive to do it because it was like a new world for you. And I'm glad it worked out. Like. Were you scared going into the role?
Well, the issue was, so a lot of people don't know this. I worked for a brand called Myokem back in the day, back in like 2014 when it started. And I didn't do too well because something about like cold calling retail stores, like you feel like a telemarketer, that just wasn't my thing. Gets me way too anxious. So I was like apprehensive on the sales part. So I tried to work in marketing in it. Yeah. That's how it became a hybrid job. Now it's just, I pretty much focus on sales mainly because that's obviously where the money's made, you know. But you know, that's why I was at first apprehensive, like shit, am I gonna have to, you know, cold call like people, and like that's still not my thing. I told them that right.
So like even if it's not your so here's like G's backstory. We kind of talked about before. Myokem, and he was behind the scenes at Supplement Reviews where he like wasn't an on-screen personality. You came to FI, I put you on. I said you have to.
He kind of forced me on there.
So like, I mean, you became an on-screen personality to the point when I started FitButters, it was like FI was G. So I feel like even if you had to code call somebody, they'd probably be like, "Oh, I know you." I mean, if they follow the channel or through Price Plow or whatever, like your name is known in the space from being out there and putting your face out there.
That's how I've gotten most of my business now. Like people just know me. Like, "Oh yeah, I know you. I remember you from Fitness Informant, or you worked on me with this." Yeah. Oh, what do you sell now? Oh, you use all these. Oh, cool. Let's use them. You know, people in this industry, a lot of people just work with their friends. Yeah. Like a lot of, you'll write like. You'll have these very detailed emails that you'll send out, like focus on all the grammar, all the little things, try to make it look all pretty. And then you'll get like and send it to the CEO, someone that you really respect, and then they'll send like an LOLK back. Yeah, dude. Like, hey, dude, yeah. Like almost like they're like an AIM still. AIM. So AIM, is that what you called it here? I always went by AIM. Yeah. But that's, you know, people, a lot of the times in this business, it's very bro business. You kind of like, I made bros along the way, so it made it easier for me to like break in with brands and work with them. So I think it was a lot easier than I thought, simply because I have the 10 years of experience from GNC to Sprouts to supplementreviews.com to Fitness Informant, and now, you know, all that network that I built over 10 years is now coming to, you know,
well, it's
coming together.
Yeah, what's cool is like on FI, like we try to be as non-biased as possible, right? So like you're looking at ingredients from say NNB and Futureceuticals and Nutrition 21 and your competitors in this space. Not that they necessarily have a direct ingredient that competes with yours, but there's still another ingredient. I mean, do you guys have good relationships, say at NuLiv, with the people at Nutrition 21? And then because like look at like nitrosogene, I know historically you're a fan of it from them. You guys don't have anything like nitrosogene at NuLiv. So it's like, do you look at NuLiv or at Nutrition 21 and say, okay, if they're using nitrosogene, then we need them to take estrogen because combined together, it's just a good formula.
We don't have a study on that, or else I'd try.
But I mean, do you? I guess what I'm asking is like, do ingredient companies ever collaborate and work together?
Yeah, we've worked on, I know like we had one for hemp protein, I believe. This is before I worked with NuLiv, so hopefully they don't say anything wrong, they don't fire me here. But they work with some sort of enzyme and to help with the absorption of hemp protein. So we definitely have collaborated with other ingredient suppliers. So, and the good thing is with like NuLiv ingredients like the Astrogen Synactive, they're typically not ingredients that you compete against.
Right.
Like we talked about this before, like nitrosogene. Many people use it with citrulline, but you could use that as a replacement.
Yeah.
It's almost like those two ingredients compete for each other.
Well, I feel like Nutrition 21 marketed that, saying like, hey, citrulline right now is X per kilo.
Yeah, and that was
insane,
good, and I agree.
Right, like use nitrosogene.
I prefer nitrosogene to citrulline personally, and I love Todd Spear there too. I'm a big fan of his. A big fan of New Level. That's no secret. But they're like, back to the main point, like they compete. Nitrosogene competes with citrulline, right? Astrogen is more something that you add to make the ingredients that you already use better. So I'm not saying it's like a different product. Nice burp, dude.
Yeah, you like that?
I love it. But it's just there to make your product better. Synactive, obviously, it's a good ingredient. Personally, I think a lot of people could take it as a standalone and get the benefits out of it.
So like, what would be the closest the closest competing ingredient to Synactive? Like rhodiola is not. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I guess off the top of my head, I want to say Elevate ATP.
Okay.
Because Synactive is one of the main benefits of it is the increasing ATP production.
Internally, from within.
Yeah, from within.
From within. Which is what Elevate ATP does. And I think peak ATP is...
Yeah, I haven't looked at Elevate ATP in a while, though. But I like that ingredient, too. Synactive also... So, holy shit, I got a burp, but...
Do it. Skittles, baby.
Yeah, by the way, guys, we were drinking Skittles C4 Energy. Came out really good. This is this is as close to the top to 10 out of 10 as it gets.
Except for it's missing estrogen.
Get estrogen in there.
Yeah. So,
what was that? Okay, so we changed the name from Actogen to Synactive because Actogen, which it was formerly called, is very similar to estrogen. So there's confusion there already.
Yeah, definitely. I was even confused.
Same here, forever. I always had to look it up. But so Synactive is a play off the word of senescent cells. Do you know what those are?
I don't, and I feel like I should.
So senescent cells are essentially cells that can't replicate themselves anymore. So they're kind of in your body, in your muscle cells. They're kind of like polluting your body.
Now that you bring it up, I wrote the article on nutrition Synactive, so yeah.
So you should know.
Yeah.
So it helps your body rid yourself of those. So in essence, it's a longevity ingredient.
Sure.
I don't like to use the word anti-aging, but kind of in that realm. So senescent cells, it also helps reduce inflammation, so it's a good recovery agent. It's a very versatile ingredient. Like NuLiv kind of, for the longest time, was mainly sports nutrition, but a lot of our ingredients have multiple benefits, like the estrogen. I guess I should just bring that up right now. Estrogen has been marketed forever in the sports nutrition space as a bioavailability enhancer, which it does. That's a great thing to go by. That's a great reason to add it to your products.
Which, I would say is 99.9% of the reason why people add it to their products today.
Yeah, well, sports nutrition is usually more geared towards using something new. But at the end of the day, estrogen is a gut health ingredient. It's kind of like what I try to tell people. Like, yes, it helps with absorption, but the main function is it's a gut health ingredient, reduces inflammation in the gut. One of the benefits of that is helping absorb stuff.
Right.
So it increases, things like CAT1 or SGLT1, certain transporter proteins that help your body, increase the absorption, kind of like helping your body get those into your system. So, it's a great ingredient, but it's mainly a gut health ingredient. So it has a lot more uses. You shouldn't just put it in a pre-workout. It could be added to greens formulas, sleep aids, depending on what you put in, So, yeah.
Sales pitch, man. Pitch them.
Buy it from me, man.
What I think is interesting is like when we work on, when I'm on this side, right, and the people listening or watching this at home, is they have this perception of how large a brand might be, right? You look at Ghost or NutriBio or Redcon, and you think, wow, Redcon is this massive fucking company that has their own HQ in Boca Raton and the boats and cars and whatever. And then there are other brands out there posting pictures on Instagram to make them look big. But what you get is you get actual purchase orders, so you can tell like
how much they're actually selling,
how much they're selling, and like how big these companies. Were you surprised? And we're not going to talk about any brands specifically. Obviously, that would be wrong. But like, were you surprised like when you saw maybe some of these purchase orders from some brands, be like, oh shit, I thought they were bigger than that, or I didn't realize they were that big.
I don't know if I've been there long enough to say that, but yes, there are some brands where oh wow, they actually really are big. Like, and then I have to put it into perspective. Like, let's say we obviously in this industry you sell by the kilo. So like 1 kilo of estrogen, if you use 50 milligrams per serving, is 20,000 servings per kilo.
Right, divided by, say a 20-40
it's like
workout.
600 something bottles, roughly, if they use 30, so something like that. So per kilo, like there's a big difference in a brand buying 3 kilos versus like 100 kilos every month.
Yeah.
So I get to see what brands are actually doing it. So
which ones are moving the needle versus which ones are just...
Yeah. And also
not that it's wrong, like slow moving stuff or small POs, like y'all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, I mean, we've dealt with plenty of brands in the past who, I mean, they and behave and act like $1 billion company. I'm all about that. But there are some brands who are just like, you know, we 6X last year. I mean, I'm just like, 6X what? Like, what was your baseline? It was, 60 units and you 6X it. And you're at 360 units. So, I mean, it's just, that's the part I think I almost find fascinating is just being enriched in the world on this side, thinking like, there are brands out there that I don't necessarily know how big they are. I have an idea of how big they are because maybe they have distribution in Vitamin Shop and GNC. But we were talking like some of the biggest brands in the world are brands that we don't ever talk about. Like MLM brands, for instance, are like some of the POs that they could potentially submit. I mean, it's on another level how big some of these companies are.
Yeah, and they're also selling to themselves in a way.
Yeah,
because they're selling to their own people that technically sell their products.
How's that dynamic for you? Because like on FI, we're like good product, shit product. As a sales rep, you don't care about how good the formula is as long as they're buying your like. I don't know if NuLiv requires like if you're going to use estrogen, you have to use a minimum of 25 milligrams per serving. Like some companies require like at least do that, but like the formula quality, who gives a fuck as long as they're buying from you? I mean, it's so.
Yeah, there are brands that use our ingredients. Are like, dude, that product sucks, and I'll say it straight up. And then I'm kind of the arrogant one at the office because I look at a form like that shit sucks, that brand sucks. But it's like they're buying it, they use our stuff. It's like I get it, and like I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to get rid of that. You know what? Like, this product, I wouldn't take it.
Right.
I've told that to plenty of brand owners.
Well, I guess the good thing is, like, if you and I look at something and say it sucks, but they call you and they want to use, like, the clinical dosages, a clinical dosage of, like, Synactive, I guess then we can say, well, give them credit. At least they're trying. I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, that's...
because,
true.
like, at least they're willing to pony up and get the brand ingredients because, I mean, I've seen companies out there use, like, 400 milligrams of like nitrazogene, for instance, and like you're supposed to be using a minimum of 750. So they're breaking code because they're buying it through their co-man, who's buying it through NuLiv, and they're getting like there's a lot of ways around it. But what have you learned about? And I don't know how big of a business this is for you guys, but like what have you learned about international, like Canadian companies or UK? Like, are you selling kilos to these companies, or is it predominantly domestic?
I think we have a lot. I'm mainly domestic. Actually, we do work with MyProtein, so they're a huge one. USN is actually a big South African company that we work with as well. I don't have too much experience because I'm trying to get into Germany myself, and those people are very difficult.
But you're a German; it's easy for you.
Germans do not like to spend money, and like if you go to Europe, a lot of the formulas are like stuff that we would use like 10 years ago. Like HMB is still a big thing there. Arginine capsules, maltodextrin, stuff that here that's like gone that we don't use, they still use. And they're very stubborn in like adding anything new. Germans have this mindset where like if you want to introduce something to the market, they're gonna bash it no matter like really hard at first. You can come up with a great idea, they're gonna find everything wrong with it right off the bat and tell you, don't even fucking try, you idiot. Like they'll like berate you for it and put you down. But the things that do come to the top are usually done very efficiently.
Yeah.
So there's that turn. Here you have a lot of great ideas and people tell you to start it no matter how fucking bad the actual product or idea is. I can't think of an example that I'm going to put on camera, but I'm sure there's a supplement brand out there that's a horrible idea at the start, but a bunch of people told me, yeah, dude, go for it. Follow your dreams, bro.
But there's a lot of them, and we just don't see them because they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like Inspired Nutrition was a cool idea.
I don't know what happened to them. So.
No one does. No one does.
So
hard life.
That's unfortunate.
Gaming. You're a big gamer. Your company currently does not market or make...
We are starting to.
...a gaming supplement per se. But we talked about it, like you have a brain health longevity ingredient that a lot of people don't know about. Like,
yeah.
Nootropics right now, I feel like are the hot...
They are hot.
...thing in the market, gaming supplements. Do you feel that you're behind the curve or do you feel like you can catch up?
There's plenty of time to catch up because it's still growing. There's always time. Oh God, this fucking spill on this fucking Skittles drink made me all fucking gassy.
Yeah, just keep drinking it then. Just keep it going. Keep it going.
Did I say gassy? Burpee would be the right word. So people that don't know, we have an ingredient called actiolin. That would be like something I would want to get into the gaming space. Actiolin is basically osmanthus. And what it does, not only it increases acetylcholine levels in the brain. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a neurotransmitter, helps with focus, blah, blah, blah. But it also gets rid of beta amyloid, or helps your body rid beta amyloid out of your brain. Beta amyloid, have you heard of that?
No.
So basically, to put it very simply, it's a plaque that builds up in between your in your brain, basically, right? And it kind of disrupts the neural pathways. So actiolin helps your body rid your brain of that. So it's more of a long-term.
So is this something that people develop as they age, or is there something that could
so that's
increase?
we were talking about that, like, is this an old person's ingredient?
Right.
And I'm like, yes and no, because there's nothing wrong with taking care of your brain at a younger age, and you do notice when you take it, you are more focused, on a day-to-day basis. There's some acute effect, but I would say it's more something you notice over time. Like, okay, wow, I've been a lot more on point recently. So that's something I'd want to introduce to gamers, because obviously sitting down, staring at a screen for 8 hours a day, like I did or do when I'm on the FI clock. Just kidding. That's obviously not going to be good for your brain over the long term. So I think that's something that could be introduced there. And also, I think synactive is actually an ingredient that we could probably get in there as well, and estrogen too, of course. A lot of formulas have citrulline in them because of the blood flow. Obviously, blood flow can help with focus. So I think estrogen helps with citrulline absorption. It's going to help with the absorption of the citrulline. It's going to work better. But synactive is another thing we're looking at, because we have had one company mention to us that their runners were getting like a better focus as they were running. So we're looking at, is there a relationship in dopamine and synactive during exercise? So that's something else I want to look into. And yeah, that's something I'd love to get into. Obviously, we don't have some special nootropic blend or anything like that. Like Compound Solution has that caffeine, T-creatine, and dynamine study that they did, which I think is very cool. We don't have anything like that yet. So we're gonna have to find our way in there. Yeah. And I think we can. And that's probably gonna be the biggest growing market for the next 10 years. Like G Fuel killed it already, and that's just like they're barely in it. So, or they're in it, but they're only so old. So I think those are going to be the two, or that's going to be the next big market: nootropics, stress formulas, and then gut health.
How close are you? Like, how close is your finger on the pulse of the industry right now? Like, obviously, FI. I'm just like, look, listen, keep your eyes and ears open. To figure out, like, obviously we have awards we need to vote in. We have to write out previews for 2022. Like, I just had a podcast a couple weeks ago with Ben from PricePod. We talked about brands to watch in 2022. I guess, are you still staying up to date with everything going on, because you're such an important piece of what you do?
I do. It kind of gets thrown to me, and I talk to you. I talk to Ben from PricePlow. One thing about being on the ingredient side is you kind of know what brands are doing, because they're like asking you for info. Brands tend to order ingredients or talk about ingredients like a year or two before they even make a product. Like there's a product that I've been talking to for one brand for over a year now. They already had interest in it for over a year, and then they told me that they're going to make it, but they're making it like 6 months from now. So stuff takes time, but now I know about stuff that brands are planning and putting ideas together. So like here, I always thought we got like, I know what a brand's putting together like way before, but now it's like even over a year out. To the point where it's like, when we got info here on Fitness Informant, you kind of like see the finished product and like, okay, yeah, this is good. It came out good. Here it's like, you're helping to put it together, and go through the ideas in the head of these brand owners or formulators. So yeah, I definitely keep my finger on the pulse from both sides now. Like, from you, like your way, and then like obviously my way, trying to get my ingredients into formulas.
Which brands get your nipples hard?
All the ones I work with.
All the ones you work with, right answer.
There's a lot of cool brands out there. I still, even if they don't use our ingredients, I still use Core. I'm still going to use my Ghost. Who else is there? Alpha Line, I'm still a big fan of. What's another brand? I'm trying to think, because I want to shout everybody out.
Rise, what do you think about those guys?
I like Rise. Their Sunny D came out very good. I hate Greg Helton. I'm just kidding, Greg. But I think their products they do a lot better than I thought they were doing for the longest time. Like I knew they were there and they were doing pretty good, but I didn't know that they were like the number one selling pre-workout at Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, for like 6 months going, they're killing it.
Their Sunny D came out good. I haven't tried their Ring Pop yet.
I have. It's good. They have it here too.
You have the Godzilla one too?
Not yet. We got Godzilla. They sold out super quick. Never sent me a ton.
I almost bought that, but I was like, I have to do the Sunny D.
Yeah,
that one sounds good. So I think Rise would be another one that I really like to use. I've only used their pre-workout so far, and I love it.
The protein is great.
Performax is a brand that I really like. You know, I've known Aaron West for quite some time now, and I think he puts formulas together that I myself would like, you know, that I myself feel like I would have done years ago when I was still a forum nerd. So, you know, I really like what he's doing too. But there's a bunch of other brands out there. Shout out to NutraV, Mark Burn. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. His NutraV brand is really cool, more of a health-sided ingredient. Yeah. So, what else? There's so many brands I love, man. Hell, the C4 Energy, I love that too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool, unique brands doing some certain things a little bit differently. Like I look at brands like Hostile. I think that they're doing more and more, which is cool. We talked a lot about Axe and Sledge today throughout the day, just like seeing some of the stuff that they've
Axe
done.
and Sledge. I'm getting my first experience with them. I've known about them for like a couple years now. Never got around to trying their products, and now I am. You know, and I'm starting to see why people like them.
Yeah.
You know, I bought their blue Icy ignition switch, I think it is, and I hate blue stuff, but it came out really good, and I actually look forward to drinking it. So. Also, I'm a big fan of Heather's there. She was with PricePlow, and I think she's very intelligent. So I think she has a bright future ahead there, and with Axe and Sledge and Axe and Sledge as well. So that's another brand that I go, you know, that I really like, you know. So there's so many more, man. Muscle Sports Proteins are great.
Yeah, we talk about Muscle Sports Proteins. Like, what about so two brands that we never spent time talking about on FI, and I still don't talk about them very often, is like Alani Nu and First Form. Do you have any do they use any NuLiv stuff?
I don't think First Form does. I'm not sure. I want to say no. Alani Nu does. We actually just shot a video on their product recently. Their pump product, I think, has estrogen in it. And, you know, a lot of people, when they first came out, like, oh, these formulas are underdosed, they're bad. I think they've evolved. And, like, I looked at their pump formula, I'm like, this is pretty good. Like, straightforward, nothing like a loaded morphogen formula.
No.
But still, like, very viable, you know. Good dosages, the citrulline, the glycerol, the estrogen, of course. I think they even had nitrogen in there. And it was a great formula. So I'm like, okay, I guess I actually have to take a look at them.
Right.
So I wish their energy drinks were the 16-ounce ones. Cause
you don't like the little 12s?
No, I like to.
It's like the
volume.
Virginia Slim cigarettes.
I'm a big volume guy with my energy drinks. I like to drink a lot. So, you know, go with the 16-ounce cans. I know it's more expensive, but
doesn't Monster make like the big ass ones, like 20
the BFCs?
ounces?
Don't they call it BFCs, like the big fucking cans? I think that's what they stand for. They used to.
Probably.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I like those. I wish we had those.
What's been the biggest challenge for you moving into this role?
Getting responses from brands for me to use their product. or me trying to reach out to brands, you know, cold, like a typical sales guy. The problems that you have there, but that's whatever to me. I've made plenty of connections to not totally worry about that. I know I'm going to get my business through other means.
Sure.
But other than that, just adapting to actually going to an office again. Because now I have to, before I was working with you, I was driving an hour and a half each way for 4 days a week to my old job. That sucked.
Yeah.
Now I drive about an hour every day, 3 times a week. Not as bad, but still, you know, but just being around other people and working instead of just being on my own, being able to do whatever I want.
Right.
You know, like focus on certain tasks. Now I have tasks, like very specific tasks that I have to focus on. Fitness and Informant, obviously you have your dates, your calendars, but there's other stuff that you can do. Like, I guess I'll write a review today, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have that freedom. NuLiv, I know what I have to do. Usually, there's a lot of stuff I can do on my own, but there's like always tasks that I have like, oh shit, I should probably get that done. I got to edit this video.
Right.
So, other than that, it's been a good transition. I think they were surprised that I knew the industry as much as I did.
Right.
Because I don't know. I think they thought I was making a shit ton of money here at Fitness Informant.
What are you saying you didn't?
Not the money I'm making at NuLiv, but you know, so they were wondering why I'd even want a job there, and I'm like, I'm not a real sales guy, but I have a lot of connections, so I can help. And it's turned out pretty well. I think
Black countertops.
Oh yeah, the black countertops.
That's-
Are we going to go into that?
No, that's the goal. Black countertops.
Black granite countertops.
Black granite countertops. We're gonna take a break real quick. Come back. Finish podcast with G.
Commercials, baby.
All right, dude. So let's see. You are now like more than sports nutrition. You have Expo West coming up, which is, for most people out there don't know, it's probably the largest trade show. Probably the largest trade show that out in the States that you're gonna be part of, having a booth at.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you can say that. It's actually a very big show. I'm so surprised. And there's a lot of cool, interesting stuff there.
There's like 20 different wings apparently. Like there's like new product innovation, established brands, ingredient brands. I mean, there's a lot going on.
And there's a lot more customer experience there. We were talking about this a long time before I switched over to NuLiv. Is it worth going? Like we were talking about in supplements, is it worth getting a booth at the O or Arnold? Because a bunch of people just trick or treating. You give them a sample, they forget about you.
Right.
You can't really give them an experience, or you can, but it's very difficult.
Correct.
But with those, like with a functional food company or any food company for that matter, you have something to offer that they could try and get the experience out of right there. Kind of like you do with Fit Butters at the O.
Yeah.
You actually have something to offer, like some sort of like a customer experience. They can have it in their hand, they can try it, know the experience right there. And you have that at Expo West, as well as Expo East. I was there as well.
Yeah.
But so since that's coming back, we're looking forward to it. That's going to be a much different customer base, though. They're not going to be looking for Synactive for a pre-workout, or estrogen to increase the absorption of citrulline. They're going to be looking for, probably more gut health stuff, more
cosmetics.
Cosmetics, blood sugar health, like InnoSlim, for example. That's going to help with blood sugar levels. So it'll be interesting. It'll be my first time going to the Expo West, but I've heard great things about it. I know a lot of people that go there love going there every year because it's a big experience.
Yeah.
So. And I'll be sure to have my bag ready to collect all the samples that I can.
For sure. Yeah. Well, then you're going to do a couple European tours, right? FIBO is going to be a big show. We were supposed to go out a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's before COVID happened, actually. Yeah. If it doesn't get canceled, they take COVID more seriously over there in Europe. I could imagine it get canceled. I hope it doesn't. We're just going to walk through it, no booth or anything. We have VitaFoods in Switzerland as well. That'll be pretty big. There we're gonna have a booth. So
pretty cool. You get to travel a little bit more.
I've been traveling so much.
Like you've been to Philly, you've been to Germany already, you've been to Vegas. You've done quite a bit.
Minnesota for
Minnesota.
this project. Minnesota, freeze your dick off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Soda. What else do we have? I have Texas coming up. We have
what's in Texas?
The Arnold. I'm getting. Just meeting up with some friends, but business relationship friends. Who else? There's got to be something else that I'm forgetting. So there's a lot of stuff. I could go to Mexico if I wanted to, but I don't want to go to Mexico. So a lot of travel, more than I did with Fitness Informant. That was already, what was our travel? Vegas,
Columbus. We were going to go to Germany. I mean, we're a digital brand. That's we can work from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Which I love to travel, obviously, but it's cool that you get to go, especially because for those that don't know, G spent quite a bit of time in Germany, so you get to go back.
I'm a citizen there, so I can walk right in, and that's
not that they want them to.
Oh yeah, they love me there. Come on. A lot of people in Europe will bitch about Americans and about the stuff there, and that's some of them are valid points, but you know what, a lot of times I'd go there, I'd love to try your candy and your food, your overly sweet candy and your really calorie dense foods, but they all want to come here and experience it, right. The gluttonous country that we are. I'm kind of kidding, guys. I love America, and I'll live here for the rest of my life, but I also have that European experience. So also I speak fluent German. That's why they send me there all the time. So I'll be in Germany quite a bit. Hopefully we can get business there because Europe's an untapped market for us, besides my protein, of course. Sure. But I'll be traveling a lot in Germany. I'm going to go there at least 2 or 3 times this.
What's something that like NuLiv could provide an opportunity for you that you haven't had in the past, do you think? Like obviously the opportunity to travel.
Yep. Travel, what else? I mean, just the increase in income, I guess.
Right,
would
financial
probably
security.
Yeah, like obviously we all have to make more money. I was looking for ways towards the end of my run with Fitness Informant for ways how I can make more. Like, because for the longest time I was helping other brands make money, and obviously, I made money, of course, but, not up to where I want to be later in life. And no offense, Ryan. I appreciate the pay. But, I had some ideas in mind, and then that one came along and like, okay, it was a good fit. So it turned out a lot better than I thought at first, and now I think I'm doing pretty well there. At least I think I am. For all I know, they could fire me in the second.
I'll ask your boss tonight at dinner.
Oh God, please do.
Hey, how's this dude do? Is he still?
He said you didn't want to hire him.
Yeah, like do you want this guy on your team or not? Because if you don't, I can use him back in that. No, it's good. There's a lot of cool stuff that you get to do, and Expo West is going to be a unique experience because it's like a food cosmetic. It's not just dietary supplements, so that's fun. Give me your first PO that you received. We don't need to know the brand, but was it a cool feeling to get one to come in and be like, hey, we did it? Yeah, dude, of course. That first sale is the biggest one. My first order was actually pretty big, decently big. Kind of fell into my lap, but I got it, and seeing that bigger paycheck was like, holy shit, okay, I gotta. And that was only a small part because I know it could be 10 times bigger, right? Easily 20 times bigger, but it's like, holy shit, okay, this is a start. It's a good start. I better keep it up. So sales is different, a lot of salespeople, they get a salary, but that's just there. Sometimes you're gonna make more off your commission than your salary. Yeah. In general, that's the goal. Do you miss brands emailing and texting and bitching? Well, they still do that. Yeah, but not because you necessarily favor a brand or another. Some brands still do that. Yeah. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I do. I mean, as much as I say I hate the gossip in this industry, I don't participate in it. A lot of people that hate you somehow like me. I don't know. You ever notice that? No one hates me. So many people hate you. Such a likable. I'm just kidding. But I've never had any drama in this industry. If you've noticed, I've never people have tried to do call out videos on you and other. I don't know what you're speaking of. I don't pay attention to this. And I'm I've never had that issue. So, but still being part of it, getting that gossip, as cringy as it is sometimes, and the egos that you deal with. It's good info to have sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you they'll give you inside info on people, and it helps you, in a way. I hate to say it sounds awful, but it's all about you have to pick who to trust. Yeah, that's true. Are they trustworthy? Are they credible? Are they full of shit? They'll be your friend one week, and then after a while they won't talk to you. Mm-hmm. They won't like something that you post. Then the week after that, you're back to being buddy with them. It's how the industry is. I'm sure it's like that in a lot of industries too. Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's business. Put my feet all over your desk. Yeah, you're putting your fucking paws all over that. These are clean socks. Perfect, dude. Well, I mean, 2022, we kind of talked about this, and then we'll kind of finish. What's the trend that you're seeing in sports nutrition and generalized health and wellness that you think is sort of the next big trend that's going to be here for a hot minute? I mean, gut health. We talked about that. Nootropics and probably stress formulas is another thing. Xylaria is a big mover for us already, even though it's been around for a long time, but we just rebranded to Xylaria because for the longest time it was called Woolition Prime or something, and who the hell's gonna buy something called Woolition or something? We almost cringe at our old name. Now it's called Xylaria, which is a pretty cool name, and it's getting a lot of attention right off the bat. It's okay, well, you're welcome, NuLiv. You gotta say that to Rich tonight. Yeah. But that's getting a lot of attention, and people have been stressed out these past couple of years, with everything going on in this world. I wonder why. Let's not bring up the C word. Can't say the C word. They don't like that word. So I think that's one. Obviously Xylaria helps calm you down. It's can help your body promote more GABA production. So it's
that's one. Gut health is obviously the other one, because people are starting to notice that your gut is linked to overall health a lot more than people think. Even your brain
in your gut, right? Like, or the whatever.
Your brain health has a lot to do with your gut, or your gut has a lot to do with your brain health and your immune health. So it's kind of like your second brain.
Right. It's amazing because like Danny is in GI now, and her and her doctors talk about that a lot. Like, if you suffer from Crohn's disease or other GI issues, you also have a strong likelihood of suffering from depression and mental health issues, because of the direct correlation between the two.
So people are not even looking to help that, but they're also fighting the side effects, which could be anxiety, depression, which can be caused by a lot of other things. So Xylera offers a natural way to, obviously if you have depression or anxiety that it's serious enough, talk to your doctor, obviously, but if you want to try something natural out, Xylera is a good option for that. And that's why I think we're seeing a lot of people go for it, like these past 2 years, I've fucking developed insomnia, from being inside so much. Yeah. So.
Well, like your boss says, move over melatonin.
Yeah. Melatonin, I mean, that would be the goal, become the next melatonin. I know that's very fucking difficult, because melatonin is the caffeine of sleep aids. Yeah. Like, how you can add caffeine to any formula, it's going to work. Like, oh, I feel it, I got energy. Melatonin's the same way. You could have everything underdosed in a sleep formula.
5 milligrams
if you
of
put
melatonin?
Even 1 to 2 milligrams, it's gonna help you sleep, or it could. So, we want to compete with melatonin. I mean, obviously you could use melatonin and Xylera together, but we want to be that next big ingredient for sleep. And I think we're on a good pace. Yeah. I think Xylera's gotten a lot of attention, and we have a lot of brands that are plan on using it, so stay tuned for that one.
There really hasn't been a company to kind of take on sleep in an ingredient in this. I mean, we've talked about like things like Phenibut and stuff like that, which wasn't like a brand ingredient from a dietary ingredient supplying company either. It was just anybody sort of like had it. Xylera is like one of the only. Right? You could talk about like. The ingredients that help with like the blue light and stuff like that, which Xylera mixed with that could be a really cool combination, which I'm sure we're going to see it. It's expensive, but I mean, this is one that specifically kind of takes on sleep. And I haven't seen something like that in a hot minute. So it's
is there another sleep ingredient? I know there's Lactium. The Lactium that Glaxon uses. That's a cool one. I mean, what do you have for sleep? You have valerian, glycine, GABA traditionally.
Melatonin.
Tryptophan, 5-HTP, theanine is another one. But those are all very generic. Yeah. That a bunch of people use. Xylera is actually something new. It's actually a mushroom. A mushroom that traditionally grows in termites' nests out in China somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we ferment it, obviously, but that's where it's traditionally from. So it's a very cool, natural, new ingredient. Well, it's been around for a while, but we're the people that supply it. So it's a very interesting take on sleep. And if you guys are out there, try it out. Trust me, you can buy Xylera on its own from Nature Restore. It's definitely worth trying out on its own. It doesn't even need to be used for sleep. You could take it as like post-workout. You could take it if you're feeling anxious throughout the day. Just a way to calm you down too. It could be a replacement for theanine. Granted, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, so I don't think many brands will go that way. But as your daily, as just having caps around, if you want to like mellow yourself out, it's worth trying. Yeah. Like we're looking at it for even nootropic formulas and even post-workout formulas. So I'm pretty confident you guys are going to see it in a lot more than just sleep aids. So
love it.
Have you tried it?
Of course I've tried it.
You like it?
Yeah, I've liked it. That's why we talked about it so much on this channel, and that's why Morphogen Nutrition keeps selling out of their Somagen product, because we talk about it all the time.
I haven't followed that. They got to be selling a lot of that, right?
Ton. That's always sold out. So I mean, it could also be a supply chain issue, but they definitely sell out because it works.
Yeah. Ben Morphogen, I love that guy. He's so he has that job where it's like, I make these loaded formulas. Nobody makes anything better than me. So yeah, at least my formula's better than yours, bro. And I like his stuff. Ben, if you're out there, shout out to you. I love your products. Thank you for using our stuff, even though you're not my
As we wrap it up now, he's no longer at Fitness Informant VP on Instagram. What's like, you used your first and middle name now? Like,
first, middle name, and then the last initial, I guess.
Gerhard Chad?
Gerhard Chad H.
Gerhard Chad H.
Yeah. I like, so my parents named me Gerhard, which, as a kid's going to get you made fun of, and my middle name's Chad, like the most bro frat boy college name out there. Like, Jesus Christ, you couldn't like flip that? Yeah. I know you want to keep the German tradition thing, but fuck. Give me a Chad.
Now you're just G.
Yeah, it's true. People call me G. I tried to go to Chad for a little bit, but like,
that ain't gonna work.
It's so hard to get used to that.
Yeah.
Maybe if I were to move and like, to
If we went from
me,
Clipper to Chad instead of Clipper to G.
it's Clippy actually.
Whatever.
That's what people call me.
Clippy.
That's the video
Clippy
game
gamer.
term. Oh God, I like as much as I don't like to admit the whole gaming thing. Sometimes, like it's when people get on there and I see like brands going in it without having an idea about it, I kind of like cringe at that too.
Hey, it's your world. We're just living in it, bro.
Yeah. So if you guys need gaming consulting, come to me. It'll be free for the first hour, and then I'll give you free lessons as well.
All right, bro. We got Darren tonight filming some stuff for NuLiv. You guys will see that on NuLiv's channel, and I'm not really sure YouTube or how it comes out, but it'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. Let's get drunk.
All right, guys, we hope you liked that interview with G. It was really, kind of eye-opening perspective for a lot of people listening and watching because he's from a different side of the sports nutrition industry at this time. So if you like what you heard on the podcast, hit that subscribe button. Help us out by writing a review. It helps out the algorithm. Subscribe to our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Twitter. For more supplement reviews, rankings, news, deals, workout routines, and nutrition plans, visit us on our official website, fitnessinformant.com. Future guests coming up, Julian Smith, Chris Bumstead, working on their schedules to get them on the Iron Eating podcast. Appreciate your support.